My friends, welcome to another episode of the Nuclear Heatwave Wrestling Podcast, brought to you by Mafia Sports Report, as we have our holiday special here, because we are inches away from getting to Christmas Day, which is crazy to think about. I'm not going to lie. It's crazy that this year has just went by so fast.
So, but... quick question, Doc. Have you finished your Christmas shopping yet?
No, no, I have not. Almost though. It's better than last year for sure. Better than last year, but yeah, still a little bit more to get taken care of, and that'll be done tomorrow and Thursday. So
yeah, I'm gonna try to knock mine out tomorrow. I think. I mean, all the big fish, I pretty much got done. And by big fish, I mean you included, so that's already. I already
big
taken
fish.
Care of. Yeah. So for the most part, like I think this will be the first year in my 39 years of existence that I have everything done before Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm. You know what? There you go. I mean, that's all that matters, you know. And, you know, here's a funny story real quick before we get into the wrestling about the Christmas Eve and, like, the shopping and everything. And so get this. A few years ago when I was at the old apartment, and we, with my wife's family, they would do, like, all their stuff on Christmas Eve. Like, they would have a dinner and everything. So he said, we'll host dinner. That's fine. And, you know, it's Christmas Eve. It's like, I don't even know what time it was, 8 o'clock at night. And we were right across the street from a Meijer. People don't know what Meijer is. It's similar to what, you know, like a small mini Walmart, basically. But
basically, like wherever you live, you know, it's pretty much like it's kind of like a Walmart wherever you live.
Yeah. So we were doing the dinner, and then someone said, oh, we don't have something, Diet Pop or something. For her brother who was diabetic. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll go get some Diet Pop. So I made the stupid mistake to go to Meijer on Christmas Eve at, like, again, it was like 8 o'clock at night. And I go there, and I've done Black Friday shopping. I've been to big crowds before, the sporting events. Nothing could compare to how bad it was for this day. Every single line was going all the way to the middle of the store. I mean, everything was correct because they were closing at like 10 o'clock. They were closing for Christmas or whatever. And I mean, I was in there. I had 2 things of pop, and I stood in line for like an hour and a half because nothing else was open. There were no other places open I could go to. So, yeah. Oh, gosh. So that just reminds me about making sure I get shopping done before Christmas Eve. But, you know.
Yeah, boys and girls, here's a pro tip. If you ever need gift wrapping paper and you just need, like, you know, gift bags and stuff, here's a pro tip. Last minute, go to Dollar Tree. No one is ever in there.
That's a good point. Well, also looks like we have. I think we have us Papa Mafia. I was going to say I haven't gotten my Christmas gift yet. Well, you know it isn't Christmas yet, Papa Mafia. So there, yeah. But yeah, so guess what? You gotta wait. I don't know. He might be on the naughty list. So I'll say he might be on the naughty list. I don't know.
His team did beat my. His team did. Oh, damn, I can't remember my hand placement. His team did beat my Lions, so he might just get a yellow flag for Christmas. He might get a penalty flag this Christmas. We'll see.
And then also from Pop Mafia, for those who don't live up north, Pop is soda. Yes, it is. Yes, it's Pop here in Michigan. Yeah, so we refer to it as.
We also call lollipop. We also call lollipop suckers too. So there's that.
Yeah, that was fun. That's cool. But yeah, so, you know, holidays are upon us, and this is kind of that time of the year in wrestling when they usually take a little bit of time off, and thankfully they don't have to worry about the day one show on January 1st and they can actually give them some much needed some rest. You know, they're still doing shows and everything, but some much needed rest now. And I'll tell you right now, there's been a lot of stuff been going on in the past few weeks before we get on to our main topic. But it's kind of funny because last week we brought you breaking news of Roxanne Perez becoming the new NXT Women's Champion. What we didn't know was the reason why. And that news broke the next day, obviously. So with Mandy Rose being released from her contract in WWE, mainly because of the issues they had with her paid site, her OnlyFans type of site. Wasn't OnlyFans, but something that's similar to it.
We don't remember the name of it.
Exactly.
That's not important.
But she gets released from her contract. Now, there's a lot of people going back and forth on what the issues are, But honestly, I look at it like this. It's she had a contract specifically wrote, most likely talking about how she can only use her namesake, WWE's name and she can only make money in a certain way. And now I get that. Some of those contracts most of them were wrote up before the idea of doing any of these paid sites or trying to make money off.
Like Twitter.
Well, you think about it that way.
Twitch. I'm sorry, like
Twitch. Yep, Twitch gaming and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Xavier Woods. I mean, he's got his up, down channel. I'm curious how much he personally gets paid, makes money on that.
Because I believe 5-6 years ago, I believe it was known that WWE owns that channel.
Okay, all right. So there you go. So see, and then that's something. Like, imagine if he did his own thing, the exact same thing, but it was his channel and he was making that money. They would not like that. Because I'm telling you, it's using, even though he uses like his name as his handle is basically his name, his Austin Creed name, but they know it was Xavier Woods, and he brings on WWE superstars on there and wrestlers, and so. But with Mandy's case, she's using her Mandy Rose name, and she's making the money on, But it also apparently wasn't just some, tasteful, barely nude shots or not really nude shots. There was other things apparently where she would people could actually pay.
Pay. They basically she would get very spicy for
the right kind of cheddar cheese, and look, more power to anybody that wants to do that on those type of sites, but she had to have known that something like that was going to get out eventually. And to me, it's more so about the contract being broken for her making money on the outside plane from WWE. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I could absolutely see her coming back to WWE just under a new contract that kind of but see, here's the thing. She may do that, she may not. But apparently the news came out that she's already in a week, she made $500,000. Okay. $500,000 she made in a week. And I'll tell you right now, a lot of that comes from people curious about this site, curious about seeing it. So, hey, I want to pay that, $20, $30, $40 or more to see this. I'm curious. We're all curious. And if she doesn't have to wrestle anymore, then there you go. She doesn't have to. But it does after all the work that she put in with NXT and just kind of rejuvenating that women's division during this garbage 2.0 time. Because you gotta remember, that's basically what she was her and Toxic Attraction were really one of the shining parts of 2.0, because it was just so blah, it really was. And now seeing her gone, it's well, damn, and oh man, that sucks. But she's the third longest reigning champion in NXT history for the, and only a few days shy of, I think, Shayna Baszler, I believe. Yep. And, I mean, so it's an unfortunate situation, but to me, it sounds like it just comes down to a contractual thing. It necessarily doesn't matter how spicy the stuff got. It may have been a contributing factor, but I think it's more so about the contract and the money being made off of her namesake. And then they weren't getting a piece of that, You gotta remember too, they're a publicly traded company. Again, they have a spicy site like this, and this kind of stuff gets leaked. Doesn't look good, I guess.
Especially, like you said, publicly traded company. And they do business with Mattel, who does kids' toys. So
yep.
Now, to them seeing the Mandy Rose figure, in aisle 3 at Walmart, the parents look at that, and then you got that one Karen, that make a big deal about it, and because that it kind of reminds me as far as likeness. When I remember when Breaking Bad had action figures, I think that was by NECA or McFarlane.
Yeah,
and they were Toys R Us, and you had a whole bunch of stupid Karens making.
That annoys me too. And you know what? That's funny to say that because Toys R Us. What's that? Well, you youngins, back in the day, there was a store
that sold.
I know oh gosh, I'm so sad. I just made myself
become
sad.
those guys.
Oh, I made myself sad sauce. But so they would have that section of toys before adult collectors. That's always been like the NECA line, and for a lot of in the McFarlane line, they would make figures. And I remember actually to kind of piggyback on those figures, they sold Ted stuffed bears at Toys R Us that like you squeeze them, they made sound from like Seth MacFarlane's Ted movie. Yep. So it's like a cute teddy bear, but if you watch the movie, it's no, not for kids at all. No. But it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People like to complain just to complain, so that's going to happen all the time.
So from WWE Mattel standpoint, you know, like I said, imagine them having a Mandy Rose action figure on aisle 6, and that one Karen just gets crazy upset, you know, because of the whole situation, and that's the last thing WWE's PR wants to deal with too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Among other things.
Now, here's something you know, because I'm talking with people, reading, you know, what people's other thoughts on this whole thing. Yeah. What do you think on the other side of the coin on this? Look at people like, was it the Usos, Matt Riddle, with all their issues went on, the DUIs and stuff from the Usos, the Matt Riddle with going into this drug rehab thing for 6 weeks or whatever. Is it hypocritical? Is it kind of like what's the difference between the situations? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the situation is a DUI and substance abuse. It is bad. It is negligence. It is negligent on the wrestler's behalf, on that person's behalf, because they're a grown individual and they should know better. But you're talking about substance abuse behind closed doors or a DUI. Obviously, you know, that they get too out of hand. Yeah, they did a couple days behind bars. Versus, you know, versus some spicy pics that can be seen on the internet by, you know, by kids. You know, kids go on the internet, go on their phones, and they see that stuff. And once again, even though they're trying to push for this PG-14 thing, I mean, at the end of the day, WWE is still really a PG company.
Yeah.
So once again,
for sure.
So like with Riddle, you know. How should I say this? When he's out here riding the white horse, obviously kids aren't gonna be able to see that because obviously he's not filming himself doing that.
No,
I mean allegedly, because we don't know exactly what substance he was under. But hey, for all we know, he probably could have took the wrong like muscle relaxers, or who knows what happened.
Yeah, and you're right. So that's actually a good point to say it that way. You know, and like I said, I feel like Mandy Rose could come back at some point, but if she's really making the kind of money, maybe just invest it, and you don't have to. You don't have to go through that really arduous wrestling schedule where you're gone wrestling 300, 280 days out of a year, around the road, wrestling, doing all stuff. So probably wasn't as much as that, but it was, you know, still it's hard. It's real hard for the wrestlers. So
because I would say because I think the biggest complaint, it wasn't really Matt Riddle's thing. It was Jimmy's whole thing where this dude got like a few DUIs and like a couple DUIs in the same year.
Yeah.
Yet, like then you know he gets maybe feel like he probably got a couple slaps on the wrist. Then all of a sudden, you know, he gets pushed for his what's the name for the title. He gets his tag team push. Now, obviously, that's mainly due to Roman. Now, granted, because I was telling people if they wasn't doing his bloodline storyline, or if he wasn't related to Roman or whatnot, he might have been future endeavored already. And then you go back to Randy Orton back in 2007 when he was out here acting crazy and he was part of that substance abuse scandal.
Yeah.
But when he trashed the hotel, they sat him down for 30. I mean, they basically made him go home for 30 days. And I think at that point, because Triple H probably, Triple H was probably, was the one that was going to bat for him, and Triple H probably talked to him and said, "Hey, listen, get it together now."
Yeah.
And ever since then, since 2007, I mean, I think Orton might have gotten, like a 60-day, what's the name? A 60-day fine, as far as like substance abuse. But ever since 2007, his behavior has been nowhere near that wild and crazy since then.
No, not at all. And I think it has to do with the fact that, we got married and, he settled down more. You know, he realized he had to become
grown
up and a leader in the locker room.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, he had to become a leader, and they're not, excuse me, they're not going to respect someone like that. And how are you going to have other people, the younger talent coming in and respect you if you're going to act that way? So
now my question with Riddle, did he come to them or did he get busted and they found out? That's my question.
Well, it's a good point because those reports aren't coming out because remember, WWE does not test for like marijuana anymore. So that was kind of the big thing that when they said that made everyone assume that it was some other illicit drug or something because it's, you know what I'm saying? They do most likely still do drug testing though. You gotta remember. So that I think it was just probably something like that where it was a drug test that happened and you know, he got bopped and they said, look, this is what you got to do. They probably gave him like an ultimatum. They said, look, you're going to be off TV 6 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, you never want it to be a good time for something like that to happen, but it really was a pretty good time for it to happen. You know, it's happening over the holidays, you know, and
right before the Rumble.
Right. Yeah. So if, you know, the cards are played right, he'll be back for the Rumble and, you know, everything will be, you know, hunky dory for the time being.
And mind you, obviously, when he had to go home, you know, for failing the wellness policy, we don't know. Like people, you know, we don't know exactly what he got popped for.
Correct.
To my knowledge, I don't, you know.
No, that's not been released. No.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying allegedly that he was riding a white horse, but once again, we don't know exactly for sure. So he might have just took the wrong medicine. Who knows?
Yeah, he could have. He definitely could have done. You know, because remember, wrestlers. One big thing too is pain medication. Yeah. You know, people can abuse pain medication, and that easily could interact with other stuff that he's doing. Obviously, the marijuana. Look, I know it's his bro thing, but look, he probably smokes, and that's most of the wrestlers probably do too. I'm just saying.
I'll be honest with you. I highly doubt marijuana is the one thing that they pop in wrestlers for. I highly doubt that.
Well, that's why they stopped even testing for it. That stopped a while ago, and that, for obvious reasons, you know. And it kind of annoys me too because if you think about it, like if they had not had that a few years ago, then like a lot of these people would have not been like popped for a long, you know, or suspended and lost their big pushes. I don't know. It's neither here nor there. It's kind of a different era now. But yeah, I'm hoping like with Matt Riddle, I hope he'll be back and be ready to go because after the new year, you know, it's the push for Royal Rumble and then the whole WrestleMania.
Yeah. And then just to go back to Jimmy real quick, because they was compared to Jimmy. And I'm sure once again, you know, he might have behind closed doors. I mean, yeah, he came back in a couple weeks and, you know, basically got his title push. I'm pretty who knows? He might have got fined backstage that we don't even know about. He might have got hit with some hefty fines too. They probably told him listen, we need you for this. You screwing up, so we gonna hurt your pockets. We're not gonna disclose. You're not gonna disclose how much, but he probably got his pocket. They probably hit him in his pockets for a bit. So once again, we don't know how he got punished.
That's a good point right there. And if I remember correctly, that happened in Detroit, here in Detroit.
I say in February during Black History Month too.
Oh my god!
Another tale.
So, my gosh!
I was like, you got to put him in the Hall of Fame just for that,
right? Naomi's in the car, all upset and stuff, and then just all that stuff. Oh Lord!
So now I'm pretty sure too. They probably made it so that Roman, his brother, I'm sure the people, everybody around him now, basically making sure that he's not behind the wheel. If he's gonna drink, he ain't doing it.
Yeah,
everybody
get a driver. Get a driver. Get like one of those rent a cars.
Either his brother's doing it, one of the boys is doing it.
Sami Zayn's like, "Hi guys, I got you, guys. Let's go."
Yep, and then because who knows, maybe Naomi? Because I'm sure even though Naomi's not on TV, I'm sure she's still they're married, so I'm sure she might be behind the wheel or whatnot. I'm sure they have I'm sure she's backstage and comes out, So I mean, she's still backstage at the venues because once again, that's his wife, so she's still an employee there.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But
absolutely. But my thing is with Mandy now. So I guess where we go from here now is, do you see her coming back to a wrestling ring anytime soon?
I don't think so. No, I don't think that she needs to come back. I don't. If she comes back, I'd be shocked.
Not to WWE. Not to WWE.
Oh, you mean like AEW or someone?
Another promotion, just wrestling in general. Do you see her?
I'll tell you right now, if I was her and the alleged amounts of money that she's making, it would be hard pressed for me to leave to go to AEW just to show up and then get put on Dark. You know. By the way, I had to tell you this because the Dark tapings, yeah, Athena on the Dark tapings.
Defend your title. Hold on, internet. Yep. Hold on, internet. So let me get this straight.
Yep.
Yep. So Papa Khan, let's see, for every 7 he takes 4, he takes like 6 back. So you mean to tell me you're putting your Ring of Honor champion,
yep,
the forefront of your future forefront of your division, women's division, yep, you're putting her basically on Velocity.
Yes. Oh, gets worse too. The main event of that Dark is Claudio and Wheeler Yuta in a tag match against some other tag team.
Wow.
Yep, I know.
So now your main champion for your other brand, yep, is on Velocity. Gotcha.
Well, that's what makes me think that that's how they're going to treat Ring of Honor. That Dark tapings, that they tape Dark, they're going to be taping Ring of Honor in the same place. I think that pretty much guarantees that that's what's going to happen.
Here's my thing. Okay, so if you're going to basically put these guys on YouTube, if you're going to tape it at these AEW venues, that's fine. Just go ahead and make online. Just make Ring of Honor do like WWE used to do. Like how they used to do NXT, just an online show. But okay, make ROH online, make it a YouTube show. But my thing is, keep it ROH. Don't put none of the bottom card, the jobbers, in the same ring as your champions, as your front runners. Because then it's like, what was the point? What was the point? What's the point?
I know. Yep. And when I saw that right before we came on, I was like, oh gosh, he's gonna be so mad when I tell him. But back to Dark, buddy. Back to Dark. Oh my god.
That's gonna be the new phrase. Back to Dark you go.
Back to Dark.
Back to Dark.
Oh my gosh. What? Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
but I think with Mandy, I would say if I'm Mandy, I probably ride the OnlyFans wave probably for a few months. Because my other question I was curious about is with her contract, with her non-complete clause. Obviously, if it's with WWE, it's 3 months. But I heard with NXT is only 30 days. So my question is, when they redid NXT 2.0, did her non-complete clause change from? Is it still 30 days for NXT, or is it now 90 days for everybody?
I'm not gonna lie. To me, I feel like she would have been under the WWE brand banner because she was on the Raw main roster and then went down. I feel like even though she wrestled in NXT, she would be a 3-month contract. 3 months, no compete, in my opinion. But anybody else that hasn't been up to them called up, like Grayson Waller, Alba Fire, stuff like that. They would have maybe the NXT
performance contracts.
Yep. You know, I mean, even someone like Braun Breaker, even though he hasn't been called up technically, he's going to have a 3-month one, guarantee it. He's your top guy. I think to me, it's more so who is your top guys, or if they were on the main roster before. That's how I kind of look at it. But yeah, it's we have to go wait and see on it. But right now, she doesn't need to come back. And I'll tell you right now, AEW, I feel like they would just that'd be wasted talent right there. I really do, because what would you ever come and do? Like, you don't want to be. You're already kind of known with Tony Khan about bringing WWE guys in to win belts, win the belts for here and all of that. I know it's changed a little bit, but that's always that stigma. Impact Wrestling, TNA, they were known for that too when they kept signing new people from WWE. They would just like, okay, we'll put the belt on this guy. Sometimes it may work, like Kurt Angle. It worked because Kurt Angle worked. Hell, he worked there longer than they did in WWE. You know what I'm saying? So he was okay. It made sense. But then like Christian gets it. Like, okay, I like Christian. Okay, that's cool. But then like Rob Van Dam showed up for like a second. Mick Foley, that was probably the worst. Mick Foley came and they gave the belt. Thankfully, they didn't give Ric Flair the belt. Oh Lord. But they did give Mick Foley a world title run for like 2 weeks or something, or a month. And I guarantee he was probably like, I don't want this. But no, we gotta do it. Have to give you the belt. Puts butts in the seats. It's like, what seats? What seats? But I think, if she came to AEW, hypothetical, Mandy Rose comes to AEW, like, one, you're not going to put her against Jade Cargill, you're not going to, it's not going to work. You're not going to put her against, you could put her against Jamie Hayter now, but that would just derail any kind of push that she would have, right? Because you're not going to have her lose immediately, they could, but then it'd be kind of like what they did with Bayley coming back. They pushed Bayley, she came back, was great, and then she lost every single match. Pretty much every match she lost. Yeah. And it was like, what was the point? So what's the point of you coming back? They give the women's tag team titles to, Damage Control, but it's like, wow, no, she can't win. So yeah, I don't know. I think, like I said, she's got a lot to think about for the next few months. Just save up some money, get a good nest egg there, and then she can make that decision in the spring or something.
Right.
That's how I look at it. But that's the doc's order right there. That's what I think about that.
I see you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But excuse me. We usually wear hats a lot, but I do like this hat, like my puffball.
I'll be honest with y'all. I got this at the Lions game. Shout out to my buddy Andy, aka the Dumpster Dudley.
Dumpster Dudley.
And we went to Lions game, and they were giving these out for the Minnesota game. And they were definitely one size fits most.
I was just gonna say it looks a little small, huh? Yeah.
And my head is not most. I'm a 2X. I'm a 2X lad. So
yeah.
So just so y'all know, this is about as good as it's gonna get.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. But so yeah, kind of moving on a little bit. We also got confirmation that on John Cena is returning for the last Raw SmackDown of the year,
Right.
Or and he's teaming with Kevin Owens to face Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. And I think that's going to be really good, regardless of whatever Cena is doing next year, whether they try to have him do a match at WrestleMania or whatever. But this is really good news to do this, to help further the storyline with the Kevin Owens and the Sami Zayn and Roman too. It's going to be a good thing right there. And the ratings are going to be off the charts for it. I'll tell you that for sure. And if they weren't sold out then, they're definitely going to be sold out now. And so it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's good for wrestling. It's good for the fans. People
good
like
ratings.
Cena. Oh yeah, it's a business move that's very smart. And my boy Kevin Owens, more power, and I like that too, because like Kevin Owens came out and he beat him in arguably his biggest win of his career. When he was NXT champion. Still, so that was it's pretty cool seeing that, seeing them kind of reunite, but yeah, that's going to be good. And now, as I was mentioning with John Cena, moving forward, do you think he will be in a match at WrestleMania? Sauce?
Oh, yeah, I think so. What else has John Cena got going on right now as far as movie wise? We don't really know.
Right.
If The Rock has somewhat of availability, I know John's got some availability.
The Rock definitely has availability because, I don't think that Black Adam 2 is happening, my friend.
That's the subject that's a topic for another day.
I know. He's like, wham, what?
But I definitely see him in the program Mania. And once, and I don't mind when part-time guys come back, just as long as you don't put a belt on them.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. Just come in, make them an attraction. Even if they go over on whatever or on mid Carter, fine, whatever. Because people, they want to see, their attractions. WrestleMania is the show of shows, so it's more about the spectacle anyway. So
Yep. Oh, absolutely. And I could see, like, who do you think they would put him in a match with? I know who I think they might, but actually it might
Austin
change
Theory.
now. Yep, that's exactly who I was going to say. Yep, Austin Theory, and that's exactly who I thought.
And even like they could put on like a 20. They could put on like a 18, 20-minute match. See them win, and it wouldn't even hurt. It wouldn't even hurt Theory.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And especially with how he's been doing better than doing now. Like, yeah, it would be a big thing. It'd be a really big thing for it. So I'm about that. I'm about that. Oh, excuse me. But that's actually a good segue into basically our main topic of the evening, and that is basically the last quarter of the year, which this last few months. Obviously, Triple H has been in charge of creative control in WWE, and it was pretty noticeable right from the get. I'll tell you that for sure. And I'll just, because we were just talking about him, I'll bring up the fact that look at the Austin Theory. Now, this is a guy that was basically Vince McMahon's, his new golden child, I'm sorry, with the golden egg too. Remember that whole thing?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I still haven't seen that movie on Netflix. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah, it was Red Notice, I believe was the name of the movie. Yeah, have not watched it either. Yeah, fans lost their minds. They're like, what is this? It's worth $500 million. I'm like, but what? What? Oh gosh. So you have a guy who was a hand-picked person for McMahon. Last time that happened, Drew McIntyre. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was just so blatant about how they were shoving it in our face about it. When he won Money in the Bank, and it was just such a joke. At that point, you're like, well, what? Am I a joke to you? You can't see it here, but I have Money in the Bank up here on top of you can't see it here, up here, but it's like, are you a joke? And that just made people immediately hate this guy. And this guy, he's wrestled some good matches when he was in NXT with Gargano and The Way, when he was wrestling in Evolve Wrestling. Like he's a good worker.
Oh yeah.
And he's got a good move set. He's got a good move set, unique move set. But the problem is nothing is going to change the fact that everyone that hates Vince is going to hate you.
Yep.
And that's what you're shoving him down the throat. And
like
that
Vince, like I've been saying since this podcast first started.
Yep. And that was the big problem, So then, Triple H comes in, basically. Yep. And at that point, Austin Theory, here's the thing. Triple H knows his potential is good because, Austin Theory was on every week and was wrestling in matches and losing matches. But there you go. He was on every week and he was wrestling in the matches on TV.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to bury him, he would have pulled him from TV and barely had him show up to maybe do a promo or something. Or actually wrestle.
Just shove him in on what was that? Shove him on Superstars.
Superstars are main event,
whatever. Yeah, main event. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying. So there was plenty of other ways he could have buried him, but he didn't because he knew that if Triple H was going to get him back over fans, fans like good wrestlers. They hate getting punished. So what's a better way to punish someone by having them lose, but not lose like a squash match. He wrestled Kevin Owens a couple times in this span. I mean, 15-minute match on the 18-minute match on Raw, and it was fantastic. And it wasn't a screwy finish. It was a good finish. He wrestled so many damn people, and then he would lose, and then lose, and then lose, and lose. And then the big unthinkable thing happened where he decided, I'm going to cash in. I'm going to cash in Money in the Bank for the United States Championship.
Which is a weird
opportunity.
Flex.
It is a weird flex, but I've said this too. It was a way to cut the cancerous Vince tumor that was basically the Money in the Bank off of him. Yeah. He had to get it off of him because with that still kind of stuck on him, people were just still not going to be 100 for him. So once that was gone, he still was on TV, and he gets put in a triple threat match that he ends up winning in a great heel fashion, a la Seth Rollins, honestly, if you go back and look at it. And he's put on some great promos. he's basically completely different character now. If you think about it, before he was the pompous, I'm on my selfies, which kind of works or whatever. But no, I'm like the ruthless. I'll do whatever I need to win. I'm still like that chicken shit heel slightly, you know, and that's the best part about it. So again, Triple H saw that, but he had to make sure to get some quick changes quickly. That like go back to SummerSlam. This is actually a good point. SummerSlam or not SummerSlam. I'm sorry. Well, I guess actually SummerSlam and Clash of the Castle. He tried to go cash in, and then he gets knocked out. You know, like how funny was it though? Because it was just a perfect way for him. Like I'm going to cash in, and gets knocked out. Then Tyson Fury knocks him out at Clash of the Castle.
Yep.
And it was just. I remember him laying there too. He's just like stiff as a board. Like, oh God, I'm dead. So that's one thing I could look at with the Triple H's kind of, taking over for creative is it's helping not only bringing back people that were let go before and now they want to work. You have someone like Austin Theory who got his first name back. So that's good, because the Vince McMahon way is, well, goddamn, I don't like first names. Nope. You're going to be Theory now, but that doesn't really make sense. My name's Theory. Okay. Okay.
Imagine being a casual wrestling fan. You hear, wrestlers coming to town, Raw's coming to town, and you hear the main event is Theory versus Riddle. You're like, what?
I know, right? What? I know, right? What's going on here? Is this kind of like a philosophical conversation here we have? With Riddles versus Theories? I don't know. I don't. You know what I mean? It's so. Like I said, I think everything went good with Austin Theory, and that's just one of many good changes that's come from it. Obviously, I mentioned a little bit the first names coming back. You already mentioned, Matt Riddle gets his name back because it made no sense to cut his first name. Like that's your name. It baffles me. Apollo Crews get to go back to Apollo Crews when he was just Apollo, which was weird. Didn't make any sense to me, but Ciampa, he got Tommaso Ciampa, before he went out with he had to have surgery and whatnot, but he was back. So yeah, there's been a lot of good stuff. But Sauce, with all these wrestlers, we'll kind of start off with the wrestlers coming back.
Okay.
Who is the wrestler that you were excited the most to see come back out of everyone so far?
As far as making their return?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How about, I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to go with the obvious one with Bray Wyatt because that's a little too obvious, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But honestly, I was very excited about the Good Brothers coming back for the OC with AJ Styles because, I've loved those guys, when they were all in New Japan for the Bullet Club. And then I've always liked them, with Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows. It was so cool to see him back. We watched it. I think we watched it. We watched them, that Raw live. And then when they came out, I was like, what's going on? This is awesome, and it was just too cool to see them back all together. And also the fact that their contracts are basically not these like ironclad, you can't work anywhere else. Carl Anderson has already worked in New Japan on several shows, and he'll be wrestling at New Japan's WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom, for the Never Openweight Championship, which he still currently has. So, it's very cool that they're letting, these wrestlers go wrestle at New Japan. Now, you're not going to see like AEW or anything like that, but because New Japan, they kind of had a working relationship with them, that it's not an issue with them, but it's just too cool. It's too cool to me. I was very, very excited to see them come back. That was, I was very pumped.
Actually, because I was really debating between two, but I'm gonna go with Karrion Kross.
Yep, that was actually would have been my second one for sure. Sure.
The reason, because it was between them, it was really between him and Damage Control. But I would say definitely Karrion Kross is like basically this is like his redemption run.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And it's funny he said like the call was so unexpected that he didn't even get a chance to cut his, like shave his head. And Triple H is like, "Hey, I need you here in 2 days. Come, I need you back."
Yeah. So yeah, now, I thought it was funny too because he had the longer hair, right? He was like, and I was like, "Oh, okay, because it works."
Because the only time he ever really had that type of hair, I think, was on TNA when he was Killer Cross, but he kind of had more like the kind of like the wide mohawk thing going on. So
yeah, he did have that. That's a good point. You're right.
But I think
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
But I would definitely say Karrion Kross because, like I said, it's his redemption run. Basically, everything before that, basically at this point, never happened. Him coming in as a gimp.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad.
Even though you can still find that figure of his at I saw it at Recent Meyer out there in Detroit.
They pushed it out that fast, huh? Like that fast to get that figure out. Holy crap.
Yeah, but they I'm definitely I love me some heels, especially some good heels. And being the type of heel that he is, I think now is just he needs that one good feud to like really like get him over.
Yep.
Because right now he's riding the mid card wave. But I would say definitely I think now once Survivor Series is over and done with, now we're getting ready to start to see Triple H's WWE. But with the exception of Mania, because a lot of stuff in Mania was probably already done beforehand when Vince was still here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But now I think hopefully I think now you'll start to see some more of him. Start to see him get a little bit more push as far as heels, because eventually it's gonna get to the point where obviously when Roman lose those belts, it's by whatever baby face. Eventually, they're going to need, Roman goes, off to the sunset like this or not. Eventually, you're going to need a solid heel for that baby face.
Yeah.
So who better than Karrion Kross?
Yeah, and Kross proved it already in NXT. I know, it's hard to explain. It's more like people say apples to oranges when it comes to that comparison, but I still think that it always exuded a great heel prowess with them. He was always he had a good move set. He has a gorgeous gorgeous a great valet, perfect like a valet that doesn't have to wrestle. When Scarlett, and it just worked. And I think because you've just pushed right, you're talking about some good storyline there. So
I mean, he has the potential to become, to me, he has potential to become a younger Triple H. Yeah, he was basically on a lot of on those 3 years he was going on those crazy pushes, heel pushes. I mean, he could be that guy. I feel like he could be that guy that you just love to hate. Every week he comes on the screen, you just hope your favorite baby face just punches him in the face. Get his up and comings.
Yeah. Well, they definitely had a lot of faith in him because remember, he came back and was going right against Roman Reigns.
Right.
Even though Roman already had the storyline going with Drew McIntyre. So, and it was a perfect way to segue into that feud with McIntyre. But he, what I'm saying? Like he put him right against them. Like, okay, I'm here. It's like, okay, let's see what we got. But yeah, it's a good choice.
Because how some wrestlers they come, they come in, dancing with the upper card, and then all of a sudden they just go sliding down to, basically slide down to Sunday, main event. Saturday main event. But I think with Kross, it'd be interesting. I would say he's a guy that I'll definitely be looking for, kind of keep my eye on in 23.
Oh, absolutely. Now, that being said, I mean, because there's a lot of different wrestlers here, but I wanted to get these topics right off the top is now, out of all the people that have come back, who has been the biggest disappointment? And there you go. Yeah, and it's hard not to say Hit Row as well. Just in my sake to be different. Well, I'm going to say probably Emma. Having her come back and then to basically do nothing.
The 5 minutes she was here.
Yeah, but Hit Row. Let's talk about Hit Row for a second. Why don't we?
Well, even before that incident on SmackDown, like even seeing them live at SmackDown, people cheered for like 5 seconds. And it was like, oh, okay, all right. So when's the next match?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy because these guys were here before and they were like kind of over, but but NXT over. Again, different crowds, different kind of reactions you're going to get there. So,
and maybe because when they got to the main roster, they didn't really get that push that they were expecting. They pretty much Swerve Strickland was on his way out the door.
Yep.
So, yeah. So at that point, maybe because they didn't get that when they try to come back, whatever momentum that they barely had beforehand was just gone from the get-go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I always kind of looked at Hit Row just as like a poor man's Street Profits, like that's like when you kind of see how they're the dynamic of the team they have, and it just is like I'm not interested in these guys. Right? There's nothing about these guys that make me want to watch you. It's just very odd to me. But yeah, I mean, I get it. So a lot of people are coming back that were let go, and it's like, I see it. And it's also a good way to pump up the tag team division, which has gotten a big boost since Triple H has taken back over. Again, you got to remember, you're talking about a tag team division that, for all intents and purposes, are fighting for nothing, for no titles. Because even though there has been title matches for the Usos for the belts, they weren't going to lose the belts now. They're keeping those belts as long as Roman has the belts.
Yep.
So you're talking about a tag team division that's got nothing to fight for, but arguably now it's crazy how they've made tag team wrestling exciting again. Whether you got like bringing Hit Row in again, that to me is more about padding out that tag team division. The Street Profits coming back, doing some stuff. The Viking Raiders actually like making them heel, making them actually do some good work. Bringing back Sarah Logan, Well,
basically make them like how they was when they was the War Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what war? Well, can't say war. What are you talking about, Sauce? Goddamn. Hey, at least it's not an experience, right? The Viking experience. Everyone's like, turn off the TV. Bye, I'm out. But Sarah Logan comes back, and they rebrand her as this like Valhalla, like creepy, like cool, like the character like from straight out of like Norse mythology, and it's really like that's awesome. And again, that whole tag team division. Look at Gable and Otis. I mean, you're talking about saving Otis's career again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chad Gable. I mean, you're talking about like a small Charlie Haas, a young Charlie Haas.
But to be fair, they found their groove while Vince was still in charge.
Oh, I know they did. Absolutely. But it's just the fact they kind of also kept pushing them more on TV and some good storylines. I think that, but you're right. That was before that had started before. But I'm happy that it's continued on and they're having some good matches too. So it's good to see that. It really is. And so the tag team division right now, it's pretty hot. Like I said, the aforementioned, the Good Brothers being back, Judgment Day kind of finding their niche there, the Street Profits, like I said with them,
Alpha Academy,
Usos, New Day.
New Day. So we got about, at least 6 teams right there. They would think off the top of our heads.
So. Santos Escobar and his group and whatnot.
Okay,
too.
7.
They have their
Hit Row makes 8. So, I mean, you got to, like you said, right now under Triple H's regime. I mean, you got a pretty stacked deck.
Brawling Brutes too.
Number 9. So
absolutely. Oh, and Imperium.
And 10.
And
so you got 10 teams right now, 2 brands. I mean, so you definitely. And obviously, some of those teams like Hit Row, they're going to be basically there just to put over other teams.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. So it's just good to see. It's good to see that. And it's definitely a Triple H thing because just look at the teams I just mentioned and the other good stuff that's come out of it. I'll bring up the Brawling Brutes. We've talked about many times the former Pete Dunne becoming Brute Butch and literally looking like he wanted to like hang himself every single day. He just miserable. Literally like that with Triple H. Triple H lets him wrestle in his attire, old wrestling attire, instead of wrestling in pants and looking like in suspenders, and just so excited. Like it, Clash of the Castle was the one that told me when those brutes came out with Sheamus, and they were just so hyped. They were so hyped for that match, and then it was crazy. And then even after that, with their matches and stuff at the War Games and whatnot. So, and it's great to see that because you're talking about like Pete Dunne, great technical wrestler, and he can put on a good show. And I'm just happy to see that he's happy and that other people are happy. Because guess what? You're happy. You're going to put on good product. That makes everyone happy. So seeing that is just great, and then with the other, Ridge Holland, he's gotten better for the Brutes. So, but what's really crazy was Sheamus, another resurgence for him in his career. The veteran that's been there for years, he's basically done it all except for the Intercontinental title, which still is my match of the year against Gunther at Clash of the Castle. But it's, what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, like, how some of these things happen. And Triple H, Sheamus is definitely a Triple H boy. You know what I mean? Like, he absolutely is. So seeing him get this resurgence and earning it, and with Gunther, Gunther was going to get thrown in the trash by McMahon for no reason, if you think about it. So thankfully, Triple H was there to save the damn day and, bring back both his guys from Imperium, which was great. It was like, hey, I'm going to bring you guys back too, because you guys were great and you should have never been split up. But okay. So yeah, it's very nice seeing that, especially with the tag divisions doing that, because now when the tag team titles eventually go off the Usos, then like many of those teams you can see win the tag team titles. Not Hit Row, but you can see a few of the other ones that
I can see. I mean, as long as Imperium stays together by Mania, I can see Imperium. I can see Imperium being the first teams to get those belts.
I'd love to see it. Oh yeah, that'd be great.
If not the first team, if not right away, before the end of 23, I can see them becoming champions.
Yep.
Especially if Gunther holds on to the IC strap. Yeah. Or he might lose it and then get it back, and then they're all wearing gold.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be sweet. I'd love to see that.
And then even like 2023, I'd like to see Alpha Academy, come out, grab some gold too.
Yep, they could. I mean, now just off the work we've seen, any of those guys are viable options for the tag team. Yeah, tag team division, tag team titles. So, and that's good to see. It really is. And whether it's just crazy. Everything is with Triple H doing this. Everything is just kind of like working good. Some things aren't. And I'll bring up a couple things that slightly may not have been working so far. Let's go way up. So yeah, let's talk about that for a second.
In a sense, but
we have the return. Yeah, we have the return of Bayley from injury, which was great to see her come back. They brought back Dakota Kai and Io Shirai under her new name, Io Sky or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys come back. That's good, and you girls are doing a good job in the sense of being like that heel girl group. But to me, from day one, it was Toxic Attraction. It was the same thing. It was like the same kind of gimmick, except you're now on the main roster doing this.
I wouldn't say Toxic Attraction. Me, I see more as basically just another Riot Squad.
Okay, all right.
That's the way I see it, but
No, that's a good way to put it, actually. Yeah, I kind of have to amend it then because I forgot about Riot Squad. I believe it or not, I really did for a little bit, but yeah, that's the better way to put it. I guess that would be because you have these guys come back, and they're doing pretty good, but then you have Bayley immediately go for the title and she loses. It's like, okay. So then she goes for it again, she loses, and let's do it one more time, loses. Very confused. Why? Like you're having to come back and then they lose all these matches. You put the women's tag team titles on Kai and Sky, but it's like, and they're doing that to try to make sure that those belts are being seen. Because ever since they were, Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out, they kind of were like, we don't, what are we gonna do with these belts? And they just didn't do anything for them for a while. They had that tournament that kept getting postponed. Like, this tournament's happening next week, guys, and it like never happened, and then it finally like kind of happened.
Yeah, it was like, what was gonna happen first? The tournament or see Veer Mahan?
Oh my gosh. Freaking A. Hey, are you seeing him on NXT? Are you seeing him?
I see him he's on NXT every week.
Oh my god.
I mean, I didn't start watching NXT till like 8:20, but I mean, I haven't seen him yet. I'm sure he'll pop. Well, we got about 30 minutes left in NXT.
You might see your boy Scripps on there, though. I think that's your Sauce's boy. He loves Scripts, man.
As much as we crap on, the new NXT stuff, a lot of times, I mean, the wrestling is still, solid for the most part. Still developmental, but one thing I always say that I do appreciate about NXT 2.0 is that everything is basically grown from in-house.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not like, don't get me wrong, it was cool, with the black and gold brand. We got all these indie guys coming in or whatever, the Adam Coles, the Crosses, the Keith Lees and all that. That was, don't get me wrong, that was great. But I do appreciate it more now because, like I said, everything is basically being grown in-house.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good way to put it, for sure, because then it's like, that's your baby. It's our baby. It's like our NXT baby. What's up? Here we go.
Right.
But, I just, right now with Damage Control, I think just, Bayley has to win the women's title. She just has to, I feel. But
either one or two things can happen. Either A, she eventually wins a title, or B, because right now, let's see, Bianca is the Raw Women's Champion, and
Ronda is the SmackDown.
Yeah, and unless, I mean, at this point, either A, have Bayley take the strap off of one of them, or B, have Damage Control turn on her. And then Damage Control just do their own thing as a tag team, and then Bayley can.
I could almost see that happening before. Yeah, I could almost see that happening actually,
and not necessarily have to turn Bayley. Actually, I would basically do it where Damage Control turns on Bayley because Bayley wants them to do something that's kind of against their morals. To want to take it too far, then they turn on her. So then Bayley stays heel, while Damage Control becomes babyface. Yeah,
I could see that. So that actually probably makes more sense, especially from a booking standpoint, because right now with Bianca or Ronda, I don't see either one losing the belt until close to WrestleMania, or maybe at Elimination Chamber, exactly. But you know what? Kind of funny. I saw something online this morning, and I mean, we already kind of figured that she's coming back eventually, but apparently on some social media, a hairdresser, right? A hairdresser that does colors hair, cuts hair, took a picture of one of her dye jobs she did for a client, and her client was Charlotte Flair, and it showed her like, oh, look at her new golden locks, a lot of stuff. I'm sitting here like, getting all touched up hair, getting ready to come back. I'm just saying, like, I could easily see her come back at the Rumble.
Oh my God, Charlotte Flair, please come back and just take the belt off of Ronda.
Right.
Oh, and Papa H, if you're listening, or if your people's listening, if y'all do Elimination Chamber, please do not put Ronda Rousey nowhere near that.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, please. Well, unless she's there to lose the belt, right? Because there you go. If you put her in there to lose,
I mean, it'd be like a UFC match. Somebody just kick her in the face, and then she pin her. And
I know.
Get
she
her
sees the cage like, it's like UFC. Here we go, UFC type, right? No.
Somebody give her a cyborg kick to the face, and then we keep it moving.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you another disappointment too. We'll go through some of these other wrestlers, right? But Braun Strowman has been a slight disappointment to me for a couple reasons. One, Yeah, seeing him come back was pretty. Like it was another surprise. Like, oh, I guess he's done. Controlling this narrative. But him and Karrion Kross. But he comes back and it's like cool. He's in great shape. Adam's sure. He's in really good shape. And I'm like, cool. This is awesome. He's back. And he showed up on both Raw and SmackDown. So it was like, so what is he doing? We always go on both shows. And I remember, too, this is the show we watched. We were talking about also Omos. Now, he hadn't been on TV. And he literally showed up and we're like, oh, okay, he's on TV now. And he was in good shape. He had lost some weight, gained a little muscle, looked a bit faster in the ring. And still Omos. He still is a lumbering kind of giant. But he's not like a Khali lumbering. He actually could move a little bit.
He's like Khali 5.0.
Right? So I remember when he came back, then Strowman came back. I said, cool. So now each show has their own giant. That's kind of cool. They don't need to fight each other. And then immediately they start doing a promo to fight each other at the Crown Jewel show. Cool. Yeah, and one of the most like a dumpster fire match if I've ever seen one. I'll tell you that for sure. It was such a bizarre match. So that's, to me, that was weird. But I think more of my disappointment comes from the fact from himself and him can't stop tweeting stupid things.
Yeah.
As you as the face of your character on a show to your thousands of fans, you're going to start ripping on people like Ricochet and flippy wrestlers. Like when he's talking about that, that's like a troll that's writing on someone's page, like just some nobody, not literally former, Universal Champion here, the greatest Royal Rumble champion, of course, as well. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and then what did you see immediately happen? They put him in a program with Ricochet, and Ricochet beat him. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So that's Triple H going, don't do that.
Don't do that. Also, too, when it comes to wrestlers, looks can be everything. I don't know who told this guy to wear them stupid red pants.
The red pants. Yeah. They I don't know either because it's very weird.
He needs to go back to his camo pants, please.
Yeah. Oh, they looked way better too. Like you gotta remember too, when he first came in, he was a tall guy, but he was big. He had a belly. So he's done a really good job working out, getting bigger. But yeah, the red pants are just kind of like remember when Batista wore those blue pants when he came back? They called him Blue Tista.
Yeah.
It was like, why? Why?
It was kind of cool, but it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Then he also had like the blue arm sleeves too. He was trying something different. I was like, Dave, this ain't it.
Was that the Sonic remake before they made the movie remake? Like he's trying.
Damn near.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, I don't know. So right now with Strowman, they don't know what to do with him. So I'm kind of like this with it. So to me, I'd have to say he's another disappointment in my eyes.
Yeah.
It's nice seeing him back again. It helps give more people to this roster, and people know Strowman. He's going to get a good fan following. People liked him. He was so over. Remember? He was over, and then he was gone. It was like, oh, okay. But yeah, there's with all these people coming back, it's crazy. Like we already talked about a few of the people. We talked about friggin' Emma being brought back to be fed to Ronda Rousey. Like, what was the point? What was the point of her coming back? She had done. I don't know. It's hard to say. It really is because I'm pretty sure she's still there. Like she's under contract, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like she's doing all these indie stuff, but then you have a contract from WWE, and I can tell you right now, that's more than you're going to get in the indies. I'm just saying for her at least. And it's not like a case like Matt Cardona, the former Zack Ryder, where he's done excellent for himself and all these other promotions. But if you look at I guarantee if you look at the money he's making all these, if he signed a new contract with WWE, it would blow those other contracts, all those out of the water. It would. Oh, yeah. And he's already said too, like eventually he probably would want to come back, but it's Matt Cardona and not as Zack Ryder. And Triple H might let that happen. Vince would have never. He would like, you're Zack Ryder, goddammit. We're gonna have like. But you got to remember too, Zack Ryder, that's another guy that his character came out the wrong time. He blew up the internet and social media before Vince had a frigging clue about how to use social media to their advantage. You know, he was doing all these YouTube videos and stuff, and he was so over, and everyone else is like, but what do you, what? You can do that to like promote yourself? It was insane, right? It was how, and if he had come out and had the same character just a few years later, man, it would have been so ridiculously over. So
almost like Austin Theory.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it would have been so cool to see that. But you know, getting back to the actual people that have come back, you know, I already mentioned with Sarah Logan coming back, and you know, again, bring husband and wife together again, so that's nice. You know, like she was probably already kind of there around there, anyways, and that was cool seeing that. You know, under a new gimmick too. Yeah. Pretty sweet gimmick. Nikki Cross, you know, sans superhero Nikki Cross, back to her kind of old gimmick. And she threw away the 24/7 title after she won it. So that was cool.
You know who else has had a pretty solid return? Dexter Lumis.
Yes. I'm a fan of Dexter Lumis. I've been a fan when he was in Impact Wrestling. Basically the same gimmick, mind you. Pretty much exactly the same gimmick. His stuff with Indy Hartwell and NXT. What's interesting is right now people are everything I've kind of been reading is a lot of people are kind of sick of this whole storyline with Miz and Johnny Gargano and stuff, and I'm not, because I like Dexter Lumis, and the Miz is always going to be great, charismatic on the mic, you know. So I'm all about it. I'm fine. I'm totally fine with this kind of like happening, this storyline happening, and even just on Raw yesterday. They had a ladder match, and it was a pretty good ladder match. They gave him like 15 minutes to do the match on Raw. I mean, there were some crazy spots in it. And then it's all about like the Miz's money, right? I think he had lost it in a poker game they just did a couple weeks ago earlier. But it was good for a ladder match. Just thinking about them doing for a title or something, man. But you know, lots of good spots here and there. And then at the end, you have another returning wrestler and Bronson Reed. You know,
who I'm pretty excited about.
Yes, yeah. I'll tell you, he's another one that we talked about. This is a guy that they gave the North American title to. Then he lost it, and then he was gone. It was like, what? What happened? And he wrestled under his Jonah name over in New Japan. And he got a lot of traction over there, but I guarantee it, Triple H probably said, look, I want you back, you know? And right now he helped the Miz, you know, win, gave Lumis off the top rope, like frog splash type move. Man, I thought he killed Dexter Lumis. I mean, I thought he killed him, but it's going to be great because now you have the muscle. Because you got to remember, Ciampa out with injury. So he was with Miz. So now have a big guy like this as your muscle that will wrestle though. You know, it's different when you have muscle that can't wrestle and it's kind of like, you're there. But now you have a guy like Bronson Reed who can wrestle, fight your battles. And it just furthers that storyline, right? It furthers the storyline where, you know, because here's the thing. Anytime I read somebody saying the storyline's taking too long, it's boring. I look at that and say, these fans have like the attention of like a goldfish, right? But you remember that's kind of the era. You're like this, like, huh?
It's funny because people were saying that about I remember with HBK and Chris Jericho. It was like, man, this storylines are going on forever. And that was even 10 years ago. But now, you know, but because people in WWE at that time, they wasn't really used to long-term storytelling at that time.
No.
Like I said, now we got people that are just so used to just being fed information quickly and moving on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. They just want something, a payoff happen, and then there you go. Now we go on to something else. But no, it's been working. You know, they let him kind of keep his gimmick exactly the same thing. And they even had him pop on NXT real quick to like send a message to, you know, Indy Hartwell to keep that storyline alive. Keep that, you know, because they're together. They're indexed and together. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. Like, to bring that into the picture. But yeah, I definitely agree with you on that with Dexter Lumis. I was very happy seeing him come back. And they did a good job because he came in as like hiding in the audience, right? As the stalker. Like he wasn't even like there technically. He wasn't even in the company. Like, I'm the stalker. A stalker angle gimmick that actually worked. Just saying.
Like like DDP.
Oh, and you had to do it against the Undertaker. You knew whoever was going to get that gimmick though is doomed to fail. Yeah. Now, did they expect Sarah to be the one that pinned him in a match? For God's sake! Oh my God, that's when
could have give it to Sean O'Hara. Could have gave that to so many people.
Yeah, Sean O'Hara would have worked. He could have done it for sure because he could have definitely done
it.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah. So moving on with some of these other people like Mia Yim coming back, and I called that too. That's when I called right there. But it was nice seeing her come back, and because at that point I was like, Keith Lee, let's go, come on, come back home, come back to wifey, let's go. But I was happy to see her come back, and it's a good addition to the OC with AJ Styles and the Good Brothers, because they needed a woman in the group. With everything going on with Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley, it made sense to have a woman in that group, So very nice seeing her come back. Kind of just glossed over it earlier, but Johnny Gargano came back with his wife Candice LeRae. And again, the women's division has got a lot of people in it. Some people that are never gonna hit that upper echelon, like Candice LeRae. Correct. She's definitely one of those people that you put into a tag match. She maybe will win the tag team titles, maybe for the women, but that's it.
She's just there because her husband.
Yeah, and then you have like Shotzi Blackheart, who I've always liked in the Indies, and I'm very happy that they've had on here. I'm still very confused about the match she had with Ronda. Like, it seemed very odd to me. Should have been booked way different, but neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And then of course Raquel Rodriguez pushing her because using her size and ability. And so that's good. The women's divisions are looking good. But now you have your champions. Then now you have to kind of work down from there. But
something I want to bring up too.
Yeah.
So now that Papa H has been, he's taken over. So beforehand, it used to be Triple H when he take his guys up to the main roster. Then Vince will have to figure out what to do with them, and they have to work up some type of rapport. And Vince would have to whatever they doing up there, he had to make it work. Now it's going to be different because now you have Shawn Michaels down there. And and Triple H trusts Michaels. He trusts Michaels. So now that the transition, see the transitions from NXT 2.0 guys coming up to the main roster is going to be interesting now, and how Triple H is going to deal with it and book them and whatnot.
It will be interesting for sure because, like right now, think of it this way: when Braun Breaker loses that NXT title, he's most likely coming up to the main roster, in my opinion, because because there's nothing else for him to do after that. He's already a 2-time champion, right? He's won it because they had that feud with Ziggler.
Actually, he's a 3-time champion because he did win the men's UX. He did win the UXT.
The UK belt, the UK belts. He kind of unified.
And me personally, I count that as a champion.
Yeah. All right. So I'll take it. I'm with you on that, but he's done though. Once he loses the belt, come up to the main roster. Whether you're in the Royal Rumble and you eliminate 3 or 4 people and stay in there, or you show up on the day after the Rumble or something, on Raw and something. I don't know. I can see that something like that happen unless they're planning some more, whoever they have him lose the belt to is going to be interesting. Because right now they're pushing Donovan Dijak. He's returned after, the atrocious T-bar and Retribution gimmick. So now he's there as whether he's gonna be a big guy for the main event there.
Yeah.
If Dragunov is gonna do anything there,
or you might have
Tyler Bate might come back in.
Yeah, or you might, like you said, Tyler Bate, or maybe Grayson Waller. They might give the strap to him, or maybe once Carmelo Hayes is done, whatever program he's about to do with
Axiom, I
think. I think whatever program Carmelo Hayes, I think he gets done, whatever he's about to do with Apollo Crews, is they about to start a program together.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
One of those guys, either Cruz, Waller, Hayes, somebody. So it'd be interesting to see who comes up and takes the strap from him.
Yeah, that's a good point you mentioned, because there's a lot of people there in NXT that could go for that title, and it would work. It'd be believable, but not so much the women's, right? Like, yeah, Roxanne Perez was like, I know it's Booker T's like graduate, like her, he was very happy. He was crying actually at the show when she won. She was always so happy to see, and I get that. I totally get that, but obviously her winning the belt this quick, there was the extenuating circumstances, but I believe she was going to win it regardless, because, they had her win it. I just didn't see, I don't really see her as women's, world title. But it's kind of funny because at the beginning of the year, she was the Ring of Honor Women's Champion at the beginning of 2022. So it's kind of nuts to think that she, at the beginning of the year,
she walks in champion and walks out champion.
Yeah, pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool to see that. But think of the other women on the roster. It's like for NXT, I don't know who would go for the women's title now. I really don't. My hands are like this. I don't know, because they were working with Alba Fire, and then they just had her lose the Isla Dawn, and it's like, okay, well, her push is gone.
Well, now that Mandy's gone and Perez is champion, so now this gives HBK. It gives them some time to figure out and recalibrate the women's division.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure out where to go. Figure out where to go from here.
Oh yeah, because look, you have Indy Hartwell, you have Nikita Lyons, Cora Jade. They have people there, and I think that's a good point. They're going to definitely use the time to kind of reassess the women's division there in NXT. But yeah, I will say though, these last few months we say it pretty much every week about just how everyone's excited to be there. They're happy to wrestle there. The fans are happier. But one person in particular, and I mentioned earlier, but I figured it'd be best to keep him to the near last, was the return of Bray Wyatt. And obviously that was kind of like a big, like the worst kept secret, obviously. Yeah. But one of the coolest kind of marketing things I've ever seen, right? It was the whole White Rabbit videos. They started off at house shows. And now, because of house shows, everyone's filming now because everyone has phones. They had the song would play when the lights were out during the house show, or, whatever they call them, And everyone in the internet wrestling community is like, what's going on? Why is this happening at a house show? So then they tested it. That brought up more people to talk about it. Then they started off with the QR codes hidden in the back of like promos on Raw and SmackDown, where a promo had nothing to do with Bray Wyatt, but you would see this random kind of QR code. People would pause, do the QR code, and would bring up a weird kind of riddle puzzle thing that had to do about the White Rabbit and give you like a date. Like, it was too cool. It was so. I remember one episode they were on the mic, right? And on the block part of the mic, there was a QR code on it. So the guys talking, and then it was just another thing for the White Rabbit, and it got people so hyped about it. We were definitely hyped right before Extreme Rules when they were, again, it was a pretty much worst kept secret. It was him, but it was still sweet. It was still sweet to come back, and I know people right now are a little bummed that he still has not wrestled. He came back at Extreme Rules, and that was in October. Yeah, October 7th, I believe. Yeah,
like
7th.
2 months. It's about to be almost 3 months.
Yep. But I will say one thing. Obviously, his promos are always been great, and they put him in a storyline with Eli Drake, or LA Knight, and he is one of the best talkers in the business. He's a great worker from his days in Impact and everywhere else he's been. And I'm telling you, Triple H didn't sleep on him, right? They changed his name, McMahon, to Max Dupree with the maximum male models. But then Triple H is like, nah, no way. You're going back. And like just changed. And in a SmackDown, I'm going back, I'm LA Knight. Like, when have we ever seen that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to think that. Like, I saw that. The best thing I could say is I saw that happen in WCW with Gold Dust when they tried to make him that 7 gimmick. I don't know if you knew about this.
Oh yeah, well he got on the microphone and he basically just broke character and said this is all stupid.
Yep, because it was so stupid, but and just seeing him in this program that's been kind of going farther and further, and then finally on SmackDown, the Uncle Howdy character showed up in person now. Bray Wyatt in the ring, Eli Drake, LA Knight in the ring, and then Uncle Howdy, which we still don't know who he is. I say it's probably Bo Dallas coming back, to be that character.
If it's Bo, he definitely been doing some lifting.
Yeah, right. I know. Hey, come on. You got to believe in him. Sauce, you got to believe. Okay.
Oh, I believe.
You believe. Yeah, so I'll tell you right now, I know people are a little frustrated with him not having a match yet, because I thought for sure he was going to have a match at Survivor Series, just like a one-on-one match with LA Knight, but and that, it worked. It's okay. I'd rather he comes back and the storyline works, but then moving forward, let's see what happens. They're already hinting for Alexa Bliss to rejoin with him, and I don't know, but I'm all for it. Bray, he's done a lot in this business. People love him. He's great on the mic. He's an asset that Triple H knew he had to get back. So, and as long as he takes care of his mental health, because everyone needs to, and that just make sure to do that first and foremost. So, but yeah, man. It's been a crazy few months, I'll tell you that for sure, when it comes to wrestling and WWE and the Triple H regime. And yes, I know we talked about last week, Vince McMahon, I'm trying to come back. Nah, I'm just saying, that's not happening. If he come back as a character, come back and do your board meetings and do some stuff that, like, whatever, all the paperwork shit, do all that. But you're not in creative control anymore. No. That if you want to do all the other stuff, that's fine, but you're not creative control anymore, and that's fine. We put our foot down right now, and because right now it's gonna be cool. There's already talk about the Royal Rumble possibilities for the card. There might be a Hell in a Cell match at Royal Rumble, which again
that might be a bit much though.
Yeah, when I read it, I thought it was a little odd, I thought it was odd for 2 reasons. One, if you're going to do a Hell in a Cell there, you're already going to have Elimination Chamber in February, like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
So it's like, but why? Why would you have that? Just wait till Elimination Chamber.
Like if it's a Hell in a Cell, I can see that could be for only 2 people, Bobby and Brock.
Yep. There you go.
And the only reason why they had that there. But at that point, I mean, a show like that, then if you put Hell in a Cell in there, then you basically got 3 matches you basically only have 3 matches. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have the men's rumble, the women's rumble, and then that. Yeah, because both those rumbles are going an hour each, And that Hell in a Cell probably will have to go at least 30 minutes.
At least, yeah.
A couple promos in between, and then yeah.
Well, you gotta remember too, like in the past, Royal Rumbles have always been it's never been about the undercard. Some had a pretty good had some good matches here and there, but it's really just about the Rumble. Yeah. Back in the day, that's when like Bob Holly, Hardcore Holly, had his world title shot against Lesnar at Royal Rumble. To me, though, that was more of a, hey, my next big fix now. I'm coming after you now, and they gave him that match. He
basically got fed to Lesnar. And then also the Rumble. I know we get ahead of ourselves, but one of my favorite Rumble matches was Kurt Angle versus Canada Man. Yeah, they put it how they put on the clinic for what was it, for 18 minutes?
Yeah, and then that absolutely happened. you'll have those kind of gems happen. So I just hope they don't overbook the show, because again, they have Elimination Chamber, then they have right after that. So it's like, hold on, don't overbook yourself. Just it's all about the Rumbles. We'll go from there. But but as for Triple H though, it's a good Christmas gift for the end of the year, right? Good gift for all of wrestling fans. There's been some good, there's been some weird, there's been some excitable moments, there's been disappointments, but that's wrestling. You're never gonna make everyone happy. That's the best part about it. So but I think so far just everyone has come back, and it's just a good sign for the wrestling to come. Tag team division looks good. The women's divisions are, they're getting there, they're good. And with the return of Charlotte on the horizon, Naomi possibly coming back. No Sasha Banks though. No. But you know what? I was a fan of Sasha Banks. I'm over it. I'm over the whole thing with her, but so say lovey. Say lovey. Mercedes Monet, say lovey. So, but it's gonna be good wrestling going into 23. So I'll tell you that for sure. And just like to see some more and see what's gonna happen. Because if think about this, I know if all these people have come back now, just imagine anybody coming back for the Rumble, whether it's just a one-time thing or just they're coming back. You might see some cool spots there. So, and definitely when it gets close to the Rumble, we're going to have a great episode talking about great moments from Royal Rumbles, and basically our picks of who we would love to come back in the Rumble. So, but but as always, we do have our segment of the Heat of the Week. So, with all the stuff kind of going on.
So you said that Veer Mahan shows up.
Breaking news: Veer Mahan is on NXT right now.
I say this man has had some drip on him every week. This man has yet to disappoint him and his buddy. But with that being said, I'll let you go ahead and do your Heat of the Week. I mean, well, people, if you watched last week, you pretty much know whose minds he is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go. It's like spoiler alert on that.
But Doc, I'll let you go first.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So if I had to go with like my so for my Heat of the Week, I probably have to go with I after I just talked about it, I'm gonna go with LA Knight, with the continuing storyline with Bray Wyatt. I think it's been really good, some good mic work, some with each other. They have good chemistry working with each other on it. And I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see him getting pushed like this. I know it's going to end up in like, whether it's an actual match or something he's going to lose, but it's still, when a loss like that elevates your character more, because you're in this feud with them. So that's who I'd have to say. That's who I would go for the Heat of the Week.
That's fair. And once again, as you guys watched last week, Miss Roxanne Perez, it was like you said, she came into 22 as champion. She's leaving out as 2022 champion. It was only like just 10 years ago we saw her as a fan on Total Divas when standing outside waiting for her favorite wrestlers to push, to walk out the arena or show to the arena just because she wanted to, that's what she wanted to do when she grew up, and here she is now. Like, started as a fan. Now she's here.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool to see. And those are always great stories. And, I'm saying they're really good stories. Like when Paige, when she was a big fan and she went into wrestling, the same thing,
AJ Lee,
absolutely. AJ Lee,
famous picture of her crying when she met Lita.
Yep. So it's really cool to see that, to see these fans and see them realize their dream like that. And that is really cool.
Well, which is really for like the last 5-10. Well, I would say for the last 5-8 years. I mean, the women you see in wrestling now, they're not there because they're supermodels or whatnot, or just models, whatever. They're there because they were fans first.
Yeah. So absolutely, that's absolutely true. So, yeah. Yeah, and again, we'll see. We get some more of these women wrestlers, especially in NXT, to see how it's going to be restructured under Shawn Michaels, and have high hopes. I have high hopes. But yeah. So I mean, unless you got anything else, Sauce, I didn't know if you had anything else on the noggin. That's the hat that's cutting off your circulation to your head.
Oh no, it's actually just sitting right on top, so we'll be good. But with that being said, once again, Christmas is Sunday. I just want the Fords to just give me a Lions win.
Me too. And I can win my bets. I win if I win. They win. I win my bet. So that's all I care about.
Yes, y'all. Just let y'all know at the beginning of the year, he betted that it was going to win 8 games, and I said 5, and they won more than 5, and I still stand on 5.
Oh yeah. So hey, I'm there. I'm one.
And also, with that being said, it's been a good year or whatnot, and everyone, you have do a little Christmas toast. Everybody enjoy their holidays. Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever the other ones are.
Hanukkah.
Yeah, Hanukkah, that one. So we just want to send out a toast to you guys. Everybody, have a safe, safe holiday. Hope, make that good time with your loved ones, and just enjoy, everybody's company while everybody's still here.
There you go. True that for that.
Oh, real quick, Doc. Do you want me to unveil what your Christmas present is now, or do I have to wait until Christmas Eve?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man. I'm so excited. I don't know. Well, let's wait till Christmas Eve. Christmas
Eve. Are you sure?
Yes, yeah, because yeah. I'll wait till Christmas Eve.
Okay, because I think you're going to regret not doing this on here. But
really, You know what? All right, let's do it now. I'm excited. You know what? I can't because now I'm going to think about it for next
your Christmas present, Doc, is I can't fit it in my pocket because unfortunately I can't fit a whole stadium in my pocket. So, with that being said, let's see if I pull up here. I don't know if y'all can see on my phone.
It's like enhanced.
But if you look, January 20th. Oh, what's that? WWE SmackDown. What's that say?
That's a SmackDown. No way.
What does that say?
It says main floor SmackDown, section F7, row 5. What? Main floor? No way.
Merry Christmas.
No way, man. Oh my gosh. I haven't been to a WWE show in I probably over 12 years probably. I haven't been to one. So that's awesome, my friend. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Oh crap, I messed up the computer.
Oh, that is so cool, man.
But yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool, man. I am so happy. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Oh, I'm a little speechless. For once ever in my life, I'm speechless. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Let's say floor seats. SmackDown. And it's not the go home show either.
No, it's not.
It's the week before the go home show, so we might get to see some of our favorites actually, tear it up in the ring for a second.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's gonna be cool. Man.
Hey, once again, Merry Christmas, bud. Cheers.
Cheers.
But yeah, I was gonna wait till Christmas Eve. I was like, man, it'd be really cool if we do this now.
No, I appreciate it. That was awesome, man. So that's all. I'm so shocked. I'm still a little shocked right now, but no, that's so cool. That is so cool. Now we have to know if you want to dress up as Dudleys to go. If you
well,
want
I say, of course. I mean, we'll talk about that after. We'll talk about that off the camera.
That's cool.
Of course we are. Come on now.
Oh man, but with all that, it's a great ending to the show, and thank you guys always watching and commenting, or just us good old boys loving to talk about wrestling here with you guys.
So. Oh yeah, baby, let's go.
But as always, I am Dr. Love, and this right here is Sauce Bronson.
That'd be me.
And we will catch you next week after Christmas.
Hey, listen, once again, guys, Merry Christmas. Enjoy your holidays. Be safe. And most importantly, be good.